This is a Grassy book, or a Grassy game versus Spork. This is a book I'm carrying right now. Um, let's get to it. So the one thing is, with a Grassy, you guys have to realize you have much less time to make moves, and Portal is actually like way better the lower time you have because you don't have as much mobility to get around the map with just flight or flightless anyways. So on a Grassy, Portal is much stronger than it would be on 10 Grassy. Um, he opens with Tree. Usually I like to open with Arrow, but maybe he didn't have time because it's a Grassy, right? And because it's a Grassy, you don't always have the time to make the moves you could in 10s. So you have to be much more judicious. So I had a really good start there. Now if I'm him, he doesn't know my book yet. He doesn't know if I have like Maelstrom or whatever. But at this point that I prot shield, if I'm him, I TP to the side. Um, Especially after this kind of move. Like I make this kind of move, I TP to the side, and I reestablish myself. I put on a prot shield, I flash forward, stack some shields and whatnot. By staying here and not teleporting like that, he's putting himself in a shitty spot. So I had another really good clock, and I get really lucky here that he gets stuck. So essentially got like a really good lead, um, just with a few big mistakes he's made in terms of strategy. So now at this point he does go to the side, but the lead is pretty devastating at this stage of the game. So I make my way over, and it looks like he's running a standard flight prot. Um, Peggy mix. He has fire shield. This isn't as good if the person you're playing is very or has a flight prot portal book mix like I do. Um, it's still a decent spell, don't get me wrong, but it's much better against other books, which is why I think um, 10G or 8G rather can be very book dependent. Um, but I think 8G is way better because at the end of the day, you don't have as much time, so there's fewer book options you can have. So here, this is what I'm saying. Like, you can't optimally make all types of moves. So I go here, I gotta be really thoughtful with my time. I have to be really fast. So, like, draining is much better, right? But flash, um, it's easier to cast because with drain you have to like there's a power bar which might take like half a second to like charge up, and in AG you don't really have half a second when you're moving down like that. So these are like little details you have to be good at for this setting. I have portal, so I have easy access to this side of the map. He doesn't have tree, or he does have tree. If I'm him, I'm treeing myself here. So he's misplaying. He's making a lot of like strategic mistakes. Um, there's like mechanical and strategic mistakes. He's making a lot of those. So I choose not to like go down. I try to get a good arrow that like it just barely gets by, but I couldn't quite get it off. Yeah, Prada and Aura is nice because it gives you time to make a move that's not shitty. So he goes here. And at this point, he's got to flash me, but he had to get on top of me and flash down. So it's a mechanical misplay there. And at this point, he resigns. But yeah, that's kind of how AG goes. Spork's alright. He's a pretty good 10s player, 10 Grassy player. But I asked AG specifically because there's less time and I wanted to run a portal book. Um, and I'm more confident in my mechanics over his. So, yeah, I thought this would be an easy win. Thanks for watching.